On this next stroke video analysis, I'm going to be focusing pretty much on the role of the non-hitting hand, which is the left hand for both Roger and Andy right there, and how that non-hitting hand plays a big role into helping them uncoil the body. I have a video in the stroke video library where I talk about the non-hitting hand, that the non-hitting hand plays a role in all the strokes. On this particular video, I'm going to show you how vital and important the left hand, the non-hitting hand, is when you're hitting a forehand, how it's going to help you pretty much uncoil and turn into the stroke and to help you get more power and more spin into it. So I want you to watch right now is the left hand of both players. They keep the left hand on the racket on the way back, which is, I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, I teach that every day. Just learn however big your backswing is. If you have a loop, if you have a smaller loop around the motion, keep your left hand on the racket until you're ready to stroke the ball right there. Once they let go, they're committed to the swing. It's a pretty much non-stop from there. They don't break from there. Once they let go, the left hand, the racket is going. Now, I'm going to pick it up right here, right where the left hand is about to pull away. What I mean by pull away is the left hand is going to come back and get almost tucked in all the way over to their left side right there. So I'm going to try to let this kind of roll simultaneously right there together. And watch what happens to their left hands right there. It kind of gets tucked back and away. A lot of my students, that left hand will drop along their side instead of the yanking that left hand or not hitting hand back, allowing the upper body to come around. So now by the time they're making contact with the ball, they're not sideways anymore. They are flush facing the net. So you start sideways, you face the net when you make contact, and then when you're done swinging, you have your opposite shoulder that started off back to begin with, ends up now pointing at the net. So you end up with your right shoulder pointing at the net, where when you started the stroke, it was your left shoulder that was pointing at the net right there. So that's how important that upper body turn is. He had the left shoulder pointing at the net right there. When he is done, it's the right shoulder pointing at the net, and then the other shoulder is pointing actually backwards. So it's a very violent stroke from both of them. They actually were playing each other, and obviously they're both under the rest right there. But it's a very violent motion right there. Andy has a tendency of jumping a little bit when he hits. So does Roger. But here you can see Roger just kind of uncoiling, unleashing that force. Not just your arm swinging, it's your whole body right there. Watch the hips. There, we can see the hips right there. We can see his shoulders turn, but look when he ends at the end. The hips have come completely around. We can see the hips and we can see his chest anymore. Same thing with Andy right there. We can see his shoulders right there. We can see the little Lacoste logo right there, and guess what? Boom, that logo is gone now. Same thing with Andy right there. You can see the Nike swoosh right there, and now it is gone at the end. So that's a good lesson right there. So to uncoil your body, to use, and your left hand can really help you do that. What I'm going to bring into frame right there is one of my assistants that has a beautiful stroke, Raz Von Ely right there, and you'll see how and then next to him I'm going to put Fernando Gonzalez, that has a pretty good forehand as well. But if you watch right there, Raz on the left frame, how he's going to go out there. He's hitting an open stance forehand right now, which is fine, but watch how the upper body right there, so he lets go of the left hand. Once again, the common fundamental of the left hand on the racket during the backswing, and then now watch this right as the left hand kind of gets pushed. Same thing as Andy, same thing as Roger. That left hand right there gets pushed, tucked back, and the upper body comes. So that's the lesson right there. Once again, let me erase that out of the way right there. But watch the upper body coming around. He's sideways and not coming around. So he's sideways right here. He is flush facing contact, and now the whole body comes around. So you begin sideways, you're square when you make contact, and your shoulders come all the way around right there. Let's watch Fernando Gonzalez, same thing. He's got his upper body sideways right there, flush at contact, and comes all the way around when you're done right there. So hopefully I was able to shed some light there on the coiling and the uncoiling of the body. And it's, if you're lacking power on your ground strokes, that's what you should be looking for, not just to get more racket head speed with your arm, but learning to use your upper body. And I'll finish up with the super slow-mo of Roger Federer's forehand from the different angle right there. He comes around and all the way. It's a little bit of a jump, yes, but jumping is allowed if you use it the right way. All right, hopefully I was able to help you out, shed some light onto coiling and uncoiling, using your non-hitting hand to help you shift your weight into the shot. You can email me through the site if you have any questions, and hopefully